Okay, there's a couple of things I need to do today, and the first is I've got to rake the beds over. I've seen already that the cats have got back into there, and so I've got to rake them over again because I haven't planted them yet. And the other thing that I've got to do is I've got to make now a protective cover over the area where the cats are jumping, so that when I do plant seedlings, they're not going to land in there. So let me get to that now. Well, I've got my hammer, my gloves and a rake. The beds I'm going to be doing to rake over are mainly these ones on this side, and I'm going to be driving these stakes into the beds so that I can hang the netting that I've ordered now from Amazon over them, and then I'm going to put on top of each one of these some canes just to hold the netting into place. Okay, so let me get to that. Okay, first things first, I've got to remove these pieces of plank, because these ones I'm going to be putting like that, hammering it down, and then draping the netting over once I put some canes on top. Now I can see over here, the cats have been at it again. They've been digging holes and leaving me presents, so I've got to clean that up. And I'll start with first just raking it over generally, especially the beds behind me, and then I'll start with the stakes. These are the main beds that need the raking. They're the ones I've just recently dug. Let me just pull out some of the more longer twigs and stuff like that while I'm raking it out. And bits of, I don't know what that looks like, a bit of tile or something. But there's some coal here that I don't want in the garden. I don't know how the coal got here. But look at that, pure coal. But anyway, not everything is to be explained, just to be corrected. There we go. Yeah, let me crack on while I'm sorting out these, and I'll be back with you when I start the next job. Okay, I'm going to be taking these now and hammering them in on both sides, because I want to strengthen this section, especially because I've seen the cats, they seem to use this as a thoroughfare. They come over here and they jump down here, and then they make their way along there. So I'm going to start hammering them in and to make this section stronger. So okay, I've got a whole lot more of these stakes to do, and let me crack on with that, and when I'm finished we'll get round to doing the bamboos on the top of them. Okay, I've hammered the stakes in all along here. They're approximately this far apart from each other, one of these lengths over here, and they're not fixed, but on every second row I'm going to put these over for the major strength to hold up the netting like this, and then I'm going to be taking these old bits of bamboo cane and I'm going to be laying it across like this, and as I trim it down across like this, and then obviously down the lengths over here, depending how much I've got, so that I can build a framework that will hold the netting as I put it over, and then when I pick it up I've got somewhere to lay the netting on when I'm working in the garden itself. So this seems quite a elementary job, but it can be long and tiresome and tedious. So let me get cracking with that, because this arrangement will protect me from the cats. Okay, what I'm going to be doing for the minute is just taking all these loose leaves off the canes, so that no insects and bugs can hide in here. I want my canes to be as clean as they can be, so I'm just removing, if you can see, all these loose sort of leaves that are on here, and then I'll cut them all to length and lay them out. And then I've got a little piece of string here, like this, that I'll end up tying all the loose bits together. I've already got some string that I don't waste any from previous work, and yeah, I just hope the framework is strong enough. Like I say, in the one corner I know they jump down from there, so I'm just making sure that if they don't see it and they do land on it, the structure will be strong enough to hold them, and frighten them away and tell them they can't walk over there. Because they don't really know. I mean, I don't think they do anything intentionally harmful. You know, they're all creatures and they all want to be loved. And they just don't realize what they're doing. This is why we've got to, as gently as possible, I think, educate them a little bit and say, look, you can't walk here. There's delicate stuff here. And eventually, you know, they'll take heed, and if you protect your stuff like that. So, you know, there's no use getting angry with them. They are very, very lovable creatures, cats are. And I'm sure the mouse might not agree. But that's one of the good things with them, that if there are any mice about that want to start, you know, playing around everywhere, the cats will keep them under control. And certainly the birds. I love birds, I really do. But, you know, as soon as your vegetables start going and you start putting seeds in the ground, you have to protect them from the birds as well, so this netting will do that as well. And, you know, the cats are sort of nature's sort of control, but there's nothing controlling the population of cats. People love cats because they're so affectionate, and so they buy them, and they look after them, they feed them, and they care for them. But there's nothing controlling their population as far as the birds go, so they tend to kill off the birds really, really quickly. So we've also got to protect the birds and supply for the birds. So, you know, that's just life, I suppose. Anyway, that cane's done. Let me do a whole lot more and then I'll get back to you. Okay, this is the plan. Now, I've cleaned up a whole lot of canes. I haven't done them all, but I'm quite keen to see if this is going to work. What I've done is I've laid out 1, 2, 3, 4 canes across the bed like this, and then I'm going to take canes and I'm going to weave it in between like this so that I can get a woven bed. But to stop them moving around, I'm going to have to tie with a bit of string each little section so that it doesn't move around while I'm weaving, and hold it secure. So if this can come off, if this works, then I'll have a whole sort of trellis work, a little mat that I've woven that can hold everything together, and it'll be quite strong then for when the cats land on. So this is what I'm doing, just to keep you updated. So I'm really hoping that this works, because if it does, then it'll be quite a solution to this bed. I'm sure there are other solutions, and I probably won't have enough canes to do the whole, all 3 beds, so I'm going to have to come out with other solutions for the other one. But that's not a problem. I'm never short of ideas. You know, I like what I do. And anyway, let me get this done. It's a finicky little job, and then I'll come back to you and I'll show you what I've done. Well, there we have it. It's a nice little grid. It's relatively strong. Now I just need to trim off all the edges, and I'm debating whether I should actually secure it to these poles here so that I can actually lift it up, maybe slot it behind there. Yeah, I actually think I am going to do that. So let me trim off all the edges now with a secateur. Just take it off and, just trim the edges like this. Because it's a relatively nicely firm structure now, because it's sort of been woven together. So it's given itself quite a bit of strength. And I'm quite delighted with that. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but it seems to be okay. So let me finish this and I'll tie it together and I'll come back to you. Well, I'm actually very happy with that. It's got quite a bit of strength in it, and hopefully it'll be strong enough for the cats. But I think it's now time for a cup of tea, and so I'm going to go inside, and when I come out again I'll do the next one, and then there's another sort of half bed there that I have to do, and I've got enough canes, but I've got to peel off some more and we'll finish this job. And anyway, I'll see you after tea. Okay, I've managed to pair enough canes for the next one, and they're a lot thinner, a lot of them, but I've laid them out more or less where I want them, and now I'm really just going to go and bind them ahead like I did the last lot. And I think when I'm finished this one, I'll probably call it a day. The sun has come out now. It's really quite late in the afternoon, and I'll have this bed ready for planting. I'm not too concerned about these others at the moment, because they'll only be planted in about another 2 weeks. I'm hoping to get this one planted this week. I'm just waiting for the netting to come. So let me crack on, and I'll see you when I'm finished. Well, that's my bed finished for today. It's got its covering. Now I'm just waiting for the netting that'll go on over the top here, and this bed will be well protected against the cats and birds as well. And then I just got to concern myself with the other 2 beds. But for today, that's it. I'm calling it a day. All I've got to do now is just tidy up, wash up, and go inside. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes! Please subscribe!